Frederick. Welcome to Nomad Yard Collective. So these Artemis loafers are killams. They're actually made in Turkey, and they're made with a vintage killam rugs, and they have a leather sole. They're the most comfortable shoes that transition from season to season, so these are definitely on my must-get list. In addition to that is the Artemis wallet that actually serves as a handbag as well, because it does have a strap. A couple of my favorite body care items are in this antique dental cabinet, and that includes handmade Habitat's Radiant Rose Water Toner. I actually use this present day to tone my face after cleansing, and this is also made locally in Tacoma Park, Maryland. And another favorite is the Oshun oil by Ashley Peer, and this is a hair and body oil that's made with almond oil, castor oil, and a variety of essentials, and this can be used on any part of the body as well as the hair, and it smells delightful. Ashley Peer is based in Bowie, Maryland.
Okay.
And another favorite is the Kumari luxury oil treatment, and this is for all hair types, and it is a mixture of coconut oil in addition to some essential oils, and because it's solidified a bit because of the temperature, but just warms to touch and can be applied all over on any hair type, especially natural hair, which I'm proud to rock. Another fave, cards. Great gifts to just send along, and these are made by Meek's Letterpress, and she prints her letterpress actually in Brooklyn, here in Washington, D.C. All handmade, all done locally. Some of my favorites, so you have every category that you can imagine. We show and sell the art of 7 local artists, photographers, and visual artists, including Lloyd Foster, Adrian Gaither, Stephen M. Cummins, I. Henry Phillips, who was a photographer for Afro News for over 30 years. His grandson, Webster Phillips, is currently cataloging his work here based in Baltimore, Maryland. And also Santiago Kersey, and so you can pick up a print, frame print, is this Mongolian lamb coat. This is vintage 1960s. It's a full-length lamb coat, and there's nothing better than a warm, functional vintage fur. And of course, we have goods for the men in our lives. We have vintage Hermes ties, as well as suede mustard skinny ties, a variety of sterling silver Zuni jewels, and of course some amazing loafers, Dior loafers, in addition to some Ferragamo and the like. So yeah, a little bit of everything for everyone. My name is Desiree Van Frederick, and I'm the creator and curator of Nomad Yard Collective. And Nomad Yard is a collaborative retail space based in Washington, D.C., actually in the Ivy City neighborhood of Northeast D.C. And we serve 2 functions. One, to bring the concept and idea of world vintage to the nation's capital, and that is vintage that's reflective of people from all over the world. So it captures various diasporas and their goods and the wares and objects that they made, they created, and also the objects that they wore. So we view vintage as a telling of human history. We view vintage as art, and we view vintage as a sustainable product that we all need to be mindful of. Our second function is to serve as a collaborative retail marketplace, and that means we consist of 28 businesses, small businesses that are here in the region. The challenge that many of those small businesses find is spaces to distribute their goods, whether they're handmade locally or vintage collections, things that are found or forged. And the need that we meet is providing them a space, a retail space, to distribute said goods in a collaborative function. So we brand together, we sell together, and it affords for this very eclectic marketplace that we've created. Nomad is pro-local, where we're pro-small business. We are believers that every small business owner deserves an opportunity to scale their business. We also believe that every small business owner deserves the opportunity to interface in the market and to engage the larger consumer base. And so it's the consumers that we do bring in are very mindful of that. They make conscious decisions to support the smaller brands that consist and are made up of their neighbors, their coworkers, their colleagues, friends, and family, before turn into a multinational corporation. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's economics. It just boils down to dollars and cents. 50% of the funds that are spent in a small business remain in the community, and that matters because it ties into the community that we shape, that we all engage in, that we're all affected by, and we all need to nurture that. It turns into better roadways, better schools, better libraries, and better public resources for the masses. And so those decisions are very critical in our thinking, and also should be critical in the mindset of every consumer. We moved into our New York Avenue space a year and a month ago, and we chose this space intentionally. We love this neighborhood, Ivy City, Trinidad, Noma. We love interfacing with the people who have built their lives here, who have raised their children here, and who have contributed so greatly to the history of this space. And so the intention of coming onto this neglected roadway, many of you engage here in the city or drive in and out of the city. You see New York Avenue has been neglected for almost 2 decades. And that's something that I was aware of in my childhood and growing up. And so when I had the opportunity and was prepared to open the store, it had to be in a neighborhood like this, because it matters that there are small businesses that reflect the neighborhood, and it also matters that there are businesses of people of color, in neighborhoods like this, so that the neighbors and the people that engage here can see themselves again reflected, and can also see possibility for themselves. And so that's largely the intention behind this location. Now, a year into our business, we learned very recently that this building is slated to become a boutique hotel. And as fond as I am of revitalization of neighborhoods, of neglected neighborhoods, in fact, I'm a part of that. I'm even fonder of the idea of remaining a part of that. And so at this point, we are gaining community support to ensure that a small business like ours can remain in operations through the revitalization of this neighborhood. One of the reasons we opened a vintage store, outside of just my love for old things, which I view as a telling of history, of human history, is to have a conversation around what has taken place over the last 10 years, or more, 10 to 15 years, and the changing landscape of this city. A lot of small businesses have had to close their doors, and that it immediately impacts the community. And a lot of small vintage businesses have had to close their doors. Their models have not been sustainable, and the city has not offered much supports to them. And so as multinationals, corporations come in, bigger brands come in, I think it's very vital that we're mindful and aware of what that does to a small business and how it affects the community as a result. And our work is to continue our plan, I should say, and intention is to remain in this space for 20 plus years, and I believe that will come to pass. If anyone watching would like to engage and perhaps provide any supports or insights on gentrification, and we're organizing the community presently, and you can contact us at agentrifiedc@gmail.com, and also you can find that name on all the social media platforms, Agentrified DC. This is Arnisha Copeland, our operations manager.
My role at Nomad is to be the backbone to the greatness. I help work with partners and bringing people's businesses and visions to life. I believe that everyone has a creative ability, but to create and then run a business is kind of challenging for some people. So we allow people to create while we handle all the business, and that's my role here. I interact and interface with partners and customers throughout the day to make the space.
My name is Tony Jeppy Garbra. Today I'm at Nomad Yard. Why do I choose to come here? The main reason is this place is a collective of over 30 different business owners It's something about what they do from when they go to collect and pick things that draws me to this space. And that's why I come here. Main things that I like to check out here are the vintage clothing as well as the artwork within the space. So for example, I love this door right here. It's part of a Volkswagen. It's a painting from Ephraim Kouakou. I believe he's from Ivory Coast. Did a lot of work in Baltimore, so works between here and he's all over the place. This is what I love. Also, photography by a good friend of mine named Lloyd Foster. He took this in Ghana. My parents and family were from Ghana, so I see a lot of me in this picture. That's what I love about it. And also the person who runs the collective, Desiree Van Frederick, she did this one here. It's just something that just cheers me up every time I do see it. Yeah, this photograph, I believe the name of the artist, but Phillips. He did a lot of photography in Baltimore, and just seeing a lot of his work and images within the space, which is also available for sale, it's just something that I'm very just drawn to. Of course, I have a camera in my hand. I do shoot as well, but I really do appreciate it. I collect art as well, so there are a number of people that I do come here to look to see where I can get inspiration from. Even going within this space, just everything from how the space is like curated and set up, it makes me feel like I'm at my place. For example, Stephen Cummings, he's a very well-known photographer, artist, also a good friend of mine who's been doing work for a number of years in not just Washington, D.C., Baltimore, everywhere. I'm a big fan of his, and I just love his work as well. So that's Stephen Cummings, one of his pieces. Of course, within the space, one thing that you can't ever shy away from is, the unique use of everything. Of course, you have a bust where they actually carved out the top and used it as a pottery for plants. It gives me a lot of good ideas from stuff that I would like to do within my living space. Within the space that we're right now, it's when you walk right into Nomad Yard, when you come in towards your right, you'll end up in a room where, what kind of guy wouldn't like stuff like this? It makes me feel like I'm in a bar or just chilling at one of my friends' places. So everything from the hats within the space, nice brims, nice hats, all the way to even some of the artwork. And right here, there's just, looking at this, it makes me think of something that my parents would have probably seen during the time. This one here makes me think of my father when he just finished I think, University of Ghana, then he was making his way to coming to the U.S. to go to school. And then seeing the other piece juxtaposed next to this one, it makes me think of, of course, civil rights and just a number of the current events that are going on today. But overall, there's, of course, a silver lining. Just being able to see what Nomad Yard, the collective, what they're able to do within this part of Washington, D.C. I believe we're in an old city, and there's a lot of development going on. And one thing about this space, I spent a lot of time on 14th Street of Washington, D.C., where there are a number of different vintage shops. Dr. K's to Blues Hard Goods, a number of those businesses aren't around anymore. A lot of them maybe just sell independently, but this space here is kind of a collective of all those same people that I would see within this one space. And that's what brings me here to Nomad Yard.
Yeah, you might want to put some over it before it, I don't know.
Oh, right here?
Works out.
I like that.
You like that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, definitely do like that.
Hi, my name is Greg Ratsinas. This is Nomad Yard Collective. We're 28 owners. It's a vintage antique store, about 3,400 square feet. I started here as a shopper. I've been collecting about 20 years, and it was time to get rid of a lot of things, and I found this place. And
if you want to walk
it's
around,
great.
go ahead.
It's great. This is mostly men's here, and the good thing about vintage and antiques is The reason why they're still around is because, well, they're well made. And I've never liked disposable anything. So every piece that I try to collect, I try to keep. And it's a great space, a lot of fun. There's a lot of different aspects of antiques and vintage collections, and this is one of them. There's a lot of different designers, also handmade products. And it's good to have it in the city and to support it. And I love it.